Welcome to another episode of Live with the Glitter Practitioner. And that is me, Dr. Nupi Aurora. For those of you who don't know who I am the Glitter Practitioner, and I'm a family physician, general practitioner in the UK. And I guess I've been on LinkedIn since about April time. And the reason I came onto this platform was really to share my passion for whole person, heart-centered care. And what I mean by that is empowering my patients, my clients. I'm a coach as well as a doctor, to really understand their health needs, take ownership of them, and learn how to rebalance and realign their health needs, which I learned the hard way through burning out about 12 years ago. And that's where my framework, my F list has all come from. So today I have a very special guest on, but before I bring her on, I run a coaching program, and it's Find Your Fizz and Flourish, which is essentially everything I've just said about showing and sharing how to realign your health needs, bring back to balance, because when that happens, when your mind, your body, and your soul needs are in alignment, you become abundant in potential. And the reason I'm called the Glitter Practitioner, well, I'm absolutely obsessed with glitter. I'll take my glasses off, actually. I can just, there you go. You can probably just see it a little bit, or a lot. I am obsessed with glitter. And my patients as a GP would always remember me for my glittery eye makeup. So this is what I've always done. And it's truly about the light that I see coming back into somebody's eyes when you are holding space and listening from your heart. And when I see that happen, when somebody opens their eyes and I can see that light sparkling again, and I can feel that fizz tingle energy, oh, that's the glitter, that's the magic. And I think the best way I can share and show what perhaps my coaching program will help you with to find your fizz and flourish, I shall play my brand story now, because it gives you a feeling really of, I guess, my essence and what it might feel to work with me. So, Mr. Producer, please could you play the brand story?
Follow the light through the storm. And this is not a light that warns, it's a light that forms on the pathway ahead. So you can maneuver around disaster instead of getting stopped by the obstacles. It just takes changing the obstacles. And then the impossible turns to possible. And then the storm lifts. You're no longer adrift. Breathe, focus, you've got this. Ahead you see a figure, a kind soul, and on the inside it feels like you might glow. Your endless cycles of cyclones have been turned to a breeze that just slightly blows. You're adorned with glitter, where you literally feel like a kid again. And this is when you realize how much of your life you've missed. And then you talk more with Dr. Nupi Aurora, who will holistically change your aura, where you and the new you won't be like strangers. No, you'll be like friends. Because this whole process is simply life-changing. So if you're feeling frazzled and you want to find your fizz and dazzle, then book a call with Dr. Nupi Aurora by messaging her right here on LinkedIn.
Oh, I love that. Every single time it gets me all teary. I love it. That was created by Devon James Stinson, who is amazing. If you want a brand story with a difference, get in touch with him. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my amazing guest today, Olivia Morris.
Hello.
Sorry, it was a bit loud, that. Hi.
That's okay. It's fantastic.
Did you like the little shell jingle?
I did. It was special.
Good. I like to make my guests feel special. Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Seriously, I've been so excited about this.
Oh, me too.
Oh, your hair looks beautiful, by the way.
Thank you very much. And yours? Looking fabulous.
Literally last minute. Seriously. So, Olivia, please tell everybody who you are, what it is you do, and your passions.
Okay, so I'm Olivia. I am the co-founder of Doctors Living, which is an organization for physicians, there to just make their lives better, their career, their well-being, their families, the whole package. And we started that just because we felt we needed to. We needed help. We needed to do more. We need to raise awareness for them. So that's what we do, and we do it through as many channels as we can, our website, LinkedIn, you name it. But we're there to try and make medicine better. You know, the future of medicine needs our physicians, you know, so that's us.
Wow. And that's how we actually met. I remember what really drew me was, I think we have, or we had some mutual connections.
Mm-hmm.
My supernova soul sister, Diana Londonio, had just met you, I think. Dominic Corrigan, Jonathan Fisher. There's a few names I recognized. Yeah. And I remember reading your post, and it just blew me away, actually. And it was all about, you know, supporting physicians, burnout, which is a topic that is so close to my heart. And it was also what I read about, you're providing support, not just for the physician. You have coaches on board, all confidential, but also that support for the family, for partners at home. And I thought, I haven't actually seen that before in different organizations. And I was just, I need to meet you. And I remember writing this very sweary, usually, probably.
Yes.
And it was, you kind of replied back, say similar, and you were like, "Oh my God, we have to meet," which we did.
Yeah.
And then 4 hours later, that's it. Connection made.
Yes, absolutely. It was so empowering, actually, just coming on LinkedIn, seeing so many amazing people trying to do the same thing to help all these people. Yeah. But the difference with Doctors Living was, I'm not a physician. All of you guys you're incredible human beings to have actually gone through this journey and still trying to help others. And, you know, I had to write a post, you know, why would I do it when I'm not a physician yet? My entire business is about looking after them. And I thought, well, it's because I'm the relative of you know, of a physician, with my husband being one. And I thought, no, I needed to help them, but I needed to not ignore their families, because this journey is so hard on, you know, spouses, parents, siblings, and it's devastating. And we don't get support at all. There is no support for us. And that journey is so hard to hold your physician partner up while you're trying to battle this journey and give up so much yourself. You know, you're raising a family on your own, essentially, giving up your life, and you see them suffering and you can do nothing for them. And I thought, no, we need to help the physician, but we need to help their family, and realize there's help for everyone here.
It's amazing. Seriously, that is amazing. Because, you know, I remember when we were talking as well, just your dedication. And I know you say and that, you know, the doctors are doing an amazing job and we're helping other people and supporting. But honestly, when I remember talking to you, I was literally blown. I was inspired by you because of your dedication in having gone through with your husband what that really feels like to you, and then trying to do as much as you possibly can to help other people. It is a tough, it's not easy. And I think I remember you telling me that you were literally just holding it together, and it's tough. It's really tough. It's tough as a physician to even acknowledge this is what's going on. Sometimes you just bury it and get on with it. And, you know, it really is traumatic, is how I would describe it. It's traumatic.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And there's, at the time, I mean, I burnt out, what was it, 12 years ago? There certainly wasn't organizations like this. I
mean, there wasn't even only a few years ago, though. When we think about it, you know, this is still new and coming out.
Yeah, true. I think the States, I know, like Diana, she set up her organization about a year ago. I think it was about a year ago it was. Again, about coaching, coach physicians, coaching and supporting other physicians.
Yeah.
And I think post-pandemic as well, I think there's such a need for this. There really is. And I think that's what drew us really together, is because my passion is my F-list, this framework I created because of burnout, because of everything I learned for myself through schema therapy, through the psychologist that I was seeing at the time. It totally stopped me in my tracks for about 5 months. But I guess, you know, looking back, it was my perfectionism, it was my unrelenting standards that allowed me to keep pushing. And I can cope. Yeah, it's fine. I can't say that I'm not okay. And it was just, it literally, until I really couldn't go any further, it was horrible. And it made me stop. And I know so many aren't that lucky. The suicide rates are going up.
Well, this is the fear, isn't it? You know, and as I keep on saying, you know, you see the number 400 floating around, and you say, yeah, but that is only America, and that's only the ones that we know of. You know, there's a whole world out there. So these numbers are humongous.
Yeah. And that's what breaks my heart, actually. And that's why I know it was tough, and it was like this. And that was my wake-up call, actually, that no, I need to get help. And just being allowed to stop, which is what you need to do, and having that permission around you. I mean, it's a bit of a blur, to be honest, and it took a good while to really get back to me. But you know what? I personally wouldn't change it for the world, because it's what really allowed me to gain a deeper understanding of health needs. But you're not taught in medical school. You're not taught this in junior doctor training. And once I was recovered, I took 5 months out, and then brought that as the F list, all the things I learned, sharing with my patient community. And it forms the basis of my support that I do with clients, physicians, through my coaching. And, you know, you have to sometimes learn that hard way, but not everybody's that lucky that they actually come through it, which I think is why I've coined myself Burnout Warrior, and will share this with as many people as possible, to be honest, because if this can help one other person, then job done as far as I'm concerned. Essentially.
That was our goal when we started, and said, if we could sit here for years, but if we can help just one physician, we've done our job. If we can help more, then that's a bonus. But we knew that when my husband left and felt as bad as he did, we were leaving behind so many others, and we didn't want to leave them behind. And then every physician suicide we saw, you know, very recently, you know, a GP in the UK had committed suicide. And it just brings back how close to home this is. And you think this could be anyone. You know, this was you know, a young mum, and you think, if this mother who adored her children can do this to herself because of the strain of medicine, this can happen to anyone. And we can't just sit by and say that's okay. And we can't ignore it and say, well, it's just another tragedy. It's okay. You know, there's plenty more. Well, no, this is a life, and there's children who don't have a parent anymore. Some children have no parents at all because both their parents have done it. And we can't ignore this. This has to be much more, I guess, bigger than all of us, bigger than medicine itself. This needs to be part of how we look after ourselves. And, you know, if physicians can't look after themselves, how can they look after patients?
Yeah.
It's the long and short of it, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That just made my heart flip-flop, actually, when you were talking, because we need to keep talking about it, essentially. Because there are flurries, you know, there's lots of stuff in the press and all over LinkedIn about burnout, and then it kind of dies down a bit. It's not going away.
No.
And I just think it's what you said earlier, actually. It's about, you know, it's so close to home. And it's just really, I just hope anybody who's listening in to today's episode, particularly, please reach out. You're not on your own. And that's what I keep on saying. But I think there's this ingrained thing with medics, with physicians, that, you know, you're almost superhuman, or, yeah, no, of course I'll do this for other people. And yes, I will just keep going. And I think it's a cultural thing as well. I don't know. It's just,
there's a level of expectation, isn't it? You know, I remember saying to you a story of my husband, and you know, he was an emergency doctor, and this 5-year-old passed away, but yet he's expected to go on to the next patient, still have a completely normal face, and you know, it's, well, just continue. And it's not that easy. But that's what's built into physicians, which is no matter what hits you, you have to move on to your next patient, suck it up, and that's it. But the thing is, it's everything they're told to suck it up. You know, oh, you missed your children's birthday, suck it up. Oh, you know, this patient died, suck it up, move on. And that's what you're pushed to do every single day. If it's a 24-hour shift, suck it up. You know, there's no leeway here. And if you don't, well, somehow you're weak. You're not fit for medicine then. You know, you don't belong here. And you think, actually, it's them ones I want in medicine. I want my doctor to sit there and say, really sorry, I'm just not there. You know, this patient just passed away, because I want humanity. I don't want to sit there and go, you're very cold, aren't you? How do you do that? You know, but they're the physicians getting pushed away. They're the physicians that are killing themselves. The ones that cared too much, and cared about their patients, and cared about their family, and didn't want to hurt anyone anymore. I want them to be my physician. I don't want the only ones that are left are the ones that are robots, and they didn't care. They don't care about the patients. They don't care about missing their entire lives. They're just there and, well, I'm a doctor and I'll just continue. No thanks. I'll take the one who's struggling. I'll take the one with, you know, mascara running down her face, because I want somebody who cares about me as a patient. Because if they care that much about the other one, they're going to care about me too. Yeah, I'm in with them.
Yeah, that's kind of like, that rings a bell, actually. I'll be like, oh my goodness, come here, let me give you a hug. And I think, I mean, I find being a doctor, it's such a privilege. And especially as a GP, family physician, I've always seen it as, you know, you're at the heart of a community. And people, it's an unconditional level of trust, essentially. And, you know, our skill sets, which is compassion, empathy, intuition, all of these things, and curiosity is, you know, your bedside manner is what we used to call it. And that, coupled with obviously your scientific knowledge and everything else that we learn, but it's holding space for somebody. And I think for me, I'm on a mission really to bring back healing, true healing and humanity into healthcare, where it's not a nice to have anymore. It's becoming, for it to become more of the norm, whereby, it's almost like old school back in the day when, your patients used to come in and it would be very much, yeah, how are you, doc? And how are the children and this and that. And I'm not saying just to have a chat, but there's a connection and there's continuity. And I might be sounding very idealistic right now, but that for me is why I, not just for the continuity and the chat, I know I'm a chatterbox, but it's more really making a difference in somebody's life. And yes, you can actually. And when I think you are aware of your own needs, then you are in tune with yourself, and therefore you're more in tune with that other person. And I guess medicine, it's so much more than just, here, let's give you a prescription. It's about the whole thing. And I know what you said was, it's the doctors who really care, that they're the ones who tend to try and do too much or go that extra mile. I wouldn't change that. And I remember my psychologist actually saying, so, standards, expectations, lower them. I don't want to burn out again. And that's exactly I've managed. But I kind of bend around it by doing a lot of things in my own time, but choosing to, and still maintaining my boundaries, still making sure I'm home with the children, etc. And that's what lights me up, and that's what fulfills me. And I think a lot of clinicians almost forget perhaps why they, you can get so beaten down, really. It sounds very dramatic, but it's the truth. You forget almost, what is it that brought me to this career in the first place? And not everybody might have the same passion. That's fine. But I just really want to open this forum really to say that your needs matter, full stop. Just because a physician, you're not immune to chronic stress. You're not immune to feeling sort of completely overwhelmed, for example. And it's learning, I guess, to have a safe space to talk about it. That's almost the problem in certain organizations. If you speak up, you're almost penalized, and that's not a safe space.
I mean, I know you've probably seen it as well, especially like our American counterparts. They are very much punished, for speaking out or kind of stepping out of line. And you think, this is not the way that we can sustain healthcare. We can't do this. And at what point do we sit there and say our physicians have to speak up? It's difficult, because you can't just have one person do it, because they will be punished. But yet, how do you line them all up? You have to have them all thinking at the same time, the same thing. And so, that's real trouble.
But do you remember, I remember writing to you actually when we were just chatting. And I remember saying to you, and this is what I truly believe, one person can't do much on their own. I'm not saying let's start a revolt here or anything dramatic, but I guess staying true to your beliefs and your values, I guess. And if you're making a change in the way of practice, say, for example, I'm doing holistic care, which is whole person-centered care, essentially, and it's looking at everything and bringing it all together. And it works. I've been doing it pretty much for the last 11 years with my F list. I know it works. And you're making these little ripples go out. And then somebody else across the country is doing something their way and, ensuring they're fulfilled in their career and they've got their boundaries, and that's exactly how they want to do it. And then, across the pond, there are other people doing their little bit and setting up organizations like coaching support, etc. And all of a sudden, you've got these little pockets everywhere. But if you bring them all together, we're all saying the same thing. We're all passionate about really advocating for our health, for other physicians. And it's almost, no, I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, okay, you're going to have to do X, Y, Z and not give a damn about what you're feeling and thinking. That's what I teach all the med students and the junior doctors who came my way was, if you learn one thing from me, you'll learn the medicine, you'll learn all of that. Learn one thing. Number one, always look after your needs. It's absolutely crucial. And don't forget why you chose this career and the compassion, which starts with yourself, and then you're extending it out. You can't keep giving if you yourself aren't in balance. And that's what I would always say. And you listen from your heart. But I think it is happening, actually. I think there are more physicians who perhaps are, no, this doesn't work for me anymore. But then they're the ones who are starting portfolio careers like me, essentially. But my hands are very much in this arena because I think there's so much more that can be done, actually. Yeah. And so much more.
I think we also need to let our physicians know they don't have to stay physicians too.
Yes, exactly.
Because so many feel trapped in medicine and don't know that actually they've changed or this doesn't work for them anymore. And actually there's another option. And I think so many feel like, well, I'm a doctor, what else can I do? And you sit there and go, reach out to somebody. There's definitely other things that you can do. Don't feel trapped. And don't feel trapped by the title, which so many do. Like if I come out of medicine, I'm no longer a doctor, and you say you're a doctor forever, actually. No matter what you do, you will always be a doctor.
Yeah. I think that is that's really good. Two really good juicy nuggets there, that your stethoscope doesn't define you, which is what I've learned. And, you know, there are other things. I think the skill sets you have as a physician, you forget, you become very sort of tunneled into, this is all I can do. This is it. This is it now.
Yeah.
And there is so much more you can do with your skill sets. It's communication at the end of the day. And it's connection, and it's learning to very quickly pull bits of information together, make a summary. These are the things that we just do inherently.
Well, there's so many industries looking for doctors or with people with them skill sets that may not be directly medicine even. But they actually find that, you know, what you've learned and the way that you behave is very useful to them as a business.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are plenty of people that want a doctor on board, even if you're not practicing, you know, that's it. But don't feel trapped. Never, ever feel trapped.
Gosh, I wish you'd spoken to me 10 years ago.
But I think the main thing is, you know, it's like you said, you know, we sit there in our network, it grows all the time. We're finding more advocates everywhere. And you sit there and go, it is stronger together. And I think people are starting to listen. But now we need more people to get on board and say, well, now let's start taking action. And say, it's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to have a voice and be yourself. It's really okay. Bring humanity back to medicine is what we need.
Yes. I can be that person as well. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And it's giving permission to, I think that's why I'm so vocal about this, is because I know what that felt like, and there's no way I'm going back to it. And it's actually making it sharing my story almost, so that, you know, you can combine your passion, which is my passion for medicine and people and healing. You can do that, but not at the expense of your health, your health or your family. They have to come first. And it's almost relearning, reprioritizing. But I guess if we keep talking about it and we're more aware of this from the outset, even med school, I'm talking also pre-med school, you know, sixth formers, high school, at that stage, then you're changing this whole culture essentially. And it's going to take time, but it's almost like planting seeds and right, okay, this worked for me. There might be somebody else who's been through burnout, but something else helped them. And I think it's just keeping this fresh and visible.
Yeah.
And saying, you know what? No, you don't. That's not all right, actually, at all. It's what we would say to patients. The number of times I've said to patients, no, I don't accept that for you, actually. Because you when you're going through something, it's really hard. It's really hard to advocate for yourself because it's just, you don't want to let people down. It's all sorts that get stuck in your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are your, I know obviously you've got, I believe, the rebranding and everything is coming through right now. Is that right?
It is, yeah. So we have done the rebranding and we've relaunched. Yeah, exciting times for Doctors Living. And we're now getting our resources pages up. So that physicians know where to go if they want coaching, if they want equipment, even, if they need new scrubs, they know they can go to Doctors Living, and we're going to make sure that everyone's verified and they're there. They're there for everyone. We'll also have professional services, so medical, legal, finance, all of them. So we'll have all of them available. They'll be coming as everyone wants to get on there. And we've got our podcast launching about the future of medicine in January. So it's kind of everything to prepare doctors. And like we said, you can't change things overnight. So let's look forward. What is medicine going to look like? And so that's called Making Medicine Better. That's the goal. Make it better. Make everything better for their health, their careers, everything. Technology, is it going to hinder or is it not? So yeah, a lot of exciting things coming out.
It's amazing. Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. I think this is just, it really does.
People will be able to find you on the website somewhere too. So there you go.
Absolutely. You know that. I will absolutely support you 100% and just keep in touch with me, really. But yeah, you've got my absolute support on this. You really,
and same
really
back to you. Absolutely. Number one fan here. You do a wonderful job, and even things like this, like I've said it to you before, I can't thank you enough for being part of this, and also just being the other voice for physicians. It means so much to me. It means so much to my husband. There's so many people doing good and doing good things for people. That's all we've asked for from everyone.
Thank you. You're going to make me cry. Stop it.
No, and honestly, thank you. And thank your team as well, because, they put all this together and make sure that other people can hear what you have to offer. And your amazing guests and Diana and all them people. So thank you very much to all of them.
They're amazing, actually. They are incredible. And tell everybody how they can best get hold of you, please.
So I guess for me, will definitely be my LinkedIn. So it's pretty active. So LinkedIn, or go straight over to the website, doctorsliving.com. And you can always find us on there as well. Drop us an email if you want. But yeah, always on LinkedIn. Just drop us a message and we'll get back to you.
Fantastic. And if you were to give a take-home message to anybody listening, might be tuning in just now, what would you like them to take away?
Just be yourself. Don't ever try and pretend to be anybody else. Be authentic, center yourself, find out why you're here in the first place. Why are you even listening to this podcast right now? And why are you still here 30 minutes in? But be true to you and what you love, because that's all you can carry on into your future with. Think of you, think of your family, and look, that's the best that you can do for yourself.
Oh, that's fantastic. Very good advice. Thanking you. I think we need to have a part 2 to sort of catch up how everything's going, perhaps in a few months.
Absolutely.
And then another part 3 and a part 4 and a part 5.
Absolutely. We'll become regulars.
Completely warrior style, seriously, because I pretend I'm Wonder Woman at times. Thank you so much for joining me today. Don't go anywhere. I'll come and join you in the green room. Anyway,
okay.
But thank you. Amazing stuff. Wow. So inspiring. And I think incredible resources out there. And I would like to echo, for any physician who might be watching this or hearing this back on Spotify, don't forget the replay of this episode will go out on my YouTube channel, The Glitter Practitioner, Facebook, The Glitter Practitioner, Instagram, The Glitter Practitioner, as well as Spotify. So if you missed the live, you can always watch the replay, but remember that your needs matter and you don't need to go through this on your own. There is plenty of support and resources. Own your needs, know your worth, stand in your power. Nobody can take that away. And really look in, and you can live the life you deserve, absolutely, which is full of joy, which is full of love and life and just fizzle. You can, and it's just prioritizing your needs first is what I would say. Give me a call if anybody is struggling or wants to even have a chat. You'll find all my contact details here. You can find me on LinkedIn mainly. And as you know, I do this show every week on Mondays at 8 p.m. GMT now. And that is 12 noon Pacific Daylight Time. And the other show I do is with my amazing soul sister, Diana Londonio, which is every second Tuesday. And that is Supernova Soul Sisters, Physicians in Motion. So I really hope you have enjoyed today. For any further details about my coaching program, Find Your Fizz and Flourish, all those details will be in the show notes. And thank you for joining me. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.